Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and all between the binary. This is Get Informed with Wajeeh. Thank you for tuning in. We have we were supposed to have a Zoom call today, but uh, Mama K had some family emergency, and Mama K would like to extend her apology to everyone that she can't make it and had to cancel and reschedule the Zoom meeting. So while you here, I hope you can understand that we couldn't make this Zoom, but we at least have the Q&A. In the meantime, I did post the live stream on the channel's communication. So if you want to ask your questions, go ahead and head over there and we'll see what we could do. I definitely think I like this guy. I think I'm gonna spread feature among that things. Any dance humans. Welcome. We'll just, I guess, push this over here. It's really hard to find people with good music nowadays, some people say, but I think there's a lot of musicians who are underestimated. I hope this guy is not made with AI because it's good. Anyways, I'll I'll have to check him out. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Things are a little murky these days, aren't they? You no longer know who to believe. You no longer know who to listen to. You no longer know what's right from wrong. According to, oh yeah, there's a way where you can get verified now on YouTube. Hold on. There's a way where you can get your account verified on YouTube? How come I didn't know about this? Yeah. Well, shit. I guess I have homework. And when you don't know who to listen to, when you don't know who to trust anymore, I can only guess that it's very scary. It's very scary for a lot of people in this time because it feels like with modern technology, instead of being more sure, where we are having uncertainty. With instead of that security that we have been promised, we keep finding ourselves in a difficult spot where every app you download, you're not sure if this app is sharing your information to someone else or not. Every subscription you make, you're paying a company off and selling your data to them as well. Every website you open is embedding their cookies and following where you're going and what you're doing. We have what we call an intelligence and an mind manipulation, perceived control. You get a phone, comes with a lot of settings. You start playing with the settings, thinking that you are in control of that phone. But the reality is, you're in control of nothing. You have perception that you are in control. You have a perception that things are going on your favor because you have set up the settings. You have set up the phone. You got the phone yourself. You made the decision of which phone you wanted, right? You put the password on that phone, so you feel like you're safe. That's not true. Countries like Saudi Arabia, China, and many others have been trying to figure out ways to hack our phones and have access to all of our data for a very long time that I am very familiar with it since I was a child. To the point that we have a saying in Arabic that says, the wall has ears. And when we came to the United States as Muslims, we knew that the United States always monitored Muslims and was keeping tracks of our phone calls and recording everything that we do. So I grew up aware of surveillance. The Saudi government started recognizing that companies like Apple started making it very difficult for a country like that to keep tracks of my actions. So what did they do? They made governmental apps that are mandatory to be used by all citizens in order to receive governmental services or in order to get their, yeah, to receive any governmental services or do any governmental work or file any certificates, documents that you need for your business, whatever you need. You'll need this governmental app on your phone. And technology forensics investigators have found out that all of these apps essentially hack your phone completely, surrendering all of your data information to that government. Wajeeh, why are you telling me about Saudi Arabia and their apps and governmental apps? Because it's coming your way. It's coming to the United States. The Trump administration has been embedding the private sector into the White House. The Trump administration has a design company. I forgot that called the American Design Company or something. I shared the article on my profile. What is it? It's by the Dre dossier. She seemed like she knows exactly what she's talking about. The National Design Studio is the name of that organization. Company created by Joe Gebbia, the co-founder of Airbnb, and somehow he was charged with corruption or something. And yet, with the Trump executive order, he created the National Design Studio that has been creating a lot of governmental website adjacent that has nothing to do with government website, but supposedly provide governmental services, all collecting your private information. And I'm not gonna do it justice explaining this article, even if I wanted to. So I shared it on it's worth your time. If you don't want to read it, she explains the whole thing in her own voice in about 30 minutes. We need laws and regulations that protect consumer rights. We need laws and regulations that protect us from AI. We need laws and orders that make sure that these technologies do not make it easy for crimes to happen. And it feels like the government is making these crimes easier to happen because they're also committing the same goddamn crimes against us. And without you knowing, all of your information is being collected. And you're looking for governmental services, shootings, missing personnel, the website I told you about, or the company I told you about that was created. That is the National Design Studio. This National Design Studio needs to be under everyone's radar. And the scary thing is that when things are under the executive branch, Not everything is under the oversight of Congress and oversight of the Supreme Court. This White House has hired more corrupt billionaires than anyone I've ever known and has handed the keys of the government, of politics, to business. Even King Faisal of Saudi Arabia looked at his royal family and told them, "You have to choose business or government. You don't get to choose both." Even the King of Saudi Arabia knew and understood the dangers of handing the keys of governance to corrupt businessmen. Greed blinding anyone who's in it. Someone's saying AI is not invisible. I'm not talking about the AI. The software, the government tracking system is not all done by AI. The tools that are allowing us to listen up, like allowing the government to listen on us, is your phone, is your TV, is your Ring doorbell camera, is something, is all the smart devices you have in your home, your laptop, all of it are now tools. Even your Wi-Fi system can track exact location of you in the house. You don't need the AI for this. AI is to enhance all of this to make a good big picture of this whole tracking system that has been used on us. Governments have been trying to figure out ways to track us before AI existed. And the people that are supposed to do checks and balances haven't done shit. Oh. Someone is asking if I could put today's news in a nutshell. What can I tell you? You have the United States attacking Iran yesterday in Bandar Abbas. United States took down 5 Iranian drones. Iran attacked Kuwait. And then you have Israel annexing more of Lebanon and making larger attacks in Lebanon. Iran came out and said that if Lebanon is not included in this talk, then there is no peace talk. Trump came out and said that he did not like the Iranian proposals. I've been telling you guys again and again and again. This war is not ending anytime soon. And for some reason, people keep not believing what I have to say. We're not anywhere close. We're not anywhere close. When we had rational actors who brought in actual experts of negotiations, right? We were sitting down with Iran under peacetime with no war. It took us 9 months to figure out, 9 months to a few years, to a year or two, depending on which presidency. But and that is under peacetime and to reach a deal. The problem is Is that the people who are sitting down now so rational? You can't. Who's gonna trust the Trump administration's word? And why would they trust them? Iran keeps saying, "You got to show me proof that I can trust you. Proof to me that I can trust you." It's like you, like a boyfriend cheated on his other boyfriend, or a boyfriend cheated on his girlfriend, or something like that. And the one that got cheated on was like, "Show me that I could, trust you." It was like, "Oh yeah, let me show you. Come, come, come." And like the person that they cheated on goes, Let's make out together in front of my boyfriend." What are you doing? Literally, Trump making out with Netanyahu, and we're sitting here like, "Bruh, we see you. Netanyahu, slow down. Trump, slow down. We see you. We see you making out." What is the end goal of all of this tracking that you are expounding on? What's the point? Information. You are a product, and the information you produce is an even more important product. And in order for the government to start changing opinions and changing minds and manipulating people, starts with information. Coincidence takes a lot of planning. So when you have multiple way to track people, whether it's phone, Wi-Fi, your cellular system, and not just the phone, and then your car that has Wi-Fi in it now, and then your office that has Wi-Fi in it, and then your house that has Wi-Fi in it, and then all of the other products that go under it, right? Now, the government doesn't only know what's your preferences, but they know if you're cheating on your wife or not. They know if you have kids that you have told the rest of the world about or not. And making coincidence possible all of a sudden becomes much easier. Making coincidence possible becomes much easier. And knowing how to affect your opinion, how to affect your vote, knowing whether or not you could inflict some sort of danger to the United States. And then, the rich could always find their way and hack their way into the system. And anytime you have your information like that, you're at risk, because that software and that system is all hackable. And if you can hack that system and take that information, and you have information leak, and all of a sudden your social security number is out, everyone knows what you're up to, and people's life get fucked up. How can people believe that we are at peace? I don't think anyone believes that we're at peace. They're not. No one is being fooled. Not even the Trump supporters. Not even Trump supporters are being fooled. Denver Rigerman calls it the harvest. We are, by design, harvested. Our minds, our work, etc. by the powerful. It's been eye-opening when whistleblowers come out and expose the government's acts to monitor all of our moves. NSA, CIA, FBI, you call it. The craziest part here is Palantir coming into the circle. We keep handing our private data to private companies. I mean, public and private data to private companies. Any questions today about Hajj, about Eid, about Iran, about Middle East? Go ahead and go to the group chat and drop a hi and drop your question for me there. If you're watching this on YouTube, you are definitely watching a recording. Like, subscribe, and comment over there. Join the conversation. And then join us on Substack. Subscribe, it's free. And if you want to become a paid subscriber, it helps us a very long way to pay the bills and do this full time so you don't have to do it full time. And now you have mandatory readings to do. So go take a look at it. We just finalized the mug for the merch. So keep an eye on it. It's going to be published. We still have the t-shirts and hoodie merch up and going. If you want to get yourself now, if you want to get yourself some now, go ahead before they run out. And tomorrow is a paid subscribers live stream on Substack. So make sure to become a paid subscriber. And if you can't afford one, just send me a DM with your email associated with the account and we'll help you out. But if you can become a paid subscriber, we'd really appreciate it. Goes a long way, and we can talk about also more of these questions. What can we do to protect ourselves? Oh my God. I need to do more work on that. But getting educated and informed and demanding some legal accountability, demanding some sort of legal accountability and protection. For some reason, we don't have any legal protection from these technologies, and people continue to find ways to undermine our rights. So, sometimes you said concerning things about tracking, and the ones who are supposed to enforce accountability have been probably been paid off. How do we hold this accountability? That's what I have been trying to tell a lot of people. You need to run for office. You need to stop waiting for people to run for office. You need to nominate others to run for office. And then In addition to that, you need to vote. Like your life depends on it every time you can vote. It's not easy. It's not easy being in a democracy. But here's the last thing that you need to know. When people have nothing to lose is when people will do the most dramatic stuff to make change happen. As long as you have something to lose, your family has something to lose, your loved ones have something to lose, you're going to think about it over and over and over again before you make any stupid decision. That's the reality. That's the name of the game. That's why there hasn't been a second Arab Spring in the Arab world till now. There still hasn't been. People need to become desperate enough and lose everything to demand enough change. And as long as you're living comfortably, as long as you're paycheck to paycheck and almost making it, you're going to justify not doing anything. And I'm not trying to tell you to do something about it. I'm just explaining the science behind it. I'm not telling you to go do something stupid. I'm explaining to you why people haven't done stupid shit. Why haven't we seen a French Revolution yet? Like I've been hearing people talking about, going for a second civil war in the United States, and I've been hearing about it for a long time, since 2018, since 2017. I'm hearing people telling me like, "Oh, we need a civil war. We need a civil war." Why haven't we seen a civil war? Well, everyone has got too much shit to lose. That's why you haven't seen a civil war. That's why you haven't seen a large revolution. When you're just given enough to survive, you're gonna keep going. I'm going to a mosque community center today to speak with the Muslim woman I met at Costco. Should I wear a head wrap? If you're wearing a head wrap, that just shows that you're being extra respectful. You're not obligated to, but it would show respect. Any other questions? Am I still considering having a book club? Yes. But I can't do book club and do shoulder recovery at the same time. What does Quran teach about when violence is permissible? Quran is not a book full of cute stories. There's a lot of permission to go to war in the Quran, and if we're honest, that's where a lot of Islamic extremism comes from. Some of these interpretations and denying that these interpretations exist or denying the existence of these verses doesn't make it easier to fight. That's why when I get a moderate Muslim to come to me and tell me like, "Oh no, Islam has moderation. Islam is not extremist. Islam is," I'm like, "Listen, I see you. I hear you. But your conversation and your fight shouldn't be with me about my opinion about how extremist verses in Islam exist and how extremist organizations exist. It's your job as a moderate Muslim to go pursue these extremist ideologies and convince them that they're wrong. It's your job as a moderate Muslim to modernize your Islamic ideology so it reaches the modern world. Same thing goes to modern Christians and extremist Christians. Same thing goes to moderate Jewish communities and extremist Jewish community. Why would the Christian community listen to me or the Jewish community listen to me? I'm not a Muslim. I'm not a Jewish. I'm not a Christian. Mm, These moderate voices need to be the ones demanding change from within the faith. I'm just a free thinker with an opinion. Take it, leave it. But why would they listen to me? Quran never says be the aggressor, depending on who you ask. Because in the futuhat, Muslims like to call it futuhat, opening countries up. I call it Islamic imperialism. When they were expanding for no purpose other than expansion, they went and gave countries three options: convert to Islam, which essentially then you'll have to pay zakah, which is a form of charity, but it's a tax, or pay us a tax of protection, or go to war. What inspired this other than jihadic expansionist verses in the Quran and economic greed? You'll just use anytime there's an economic greed and political power connected to religion, you'll just justify the religious rhetoric to for any of your greed, whether it's political or economic. That's why when I say it's important that we have separation of religion and state, it's in the best of interest of religion, not only the best of interest of the state. Because every time a state commits a mistake in the name of religion, people leave that faith, stop believing in it, stop following it. If this war continues, shortages in the United States will be very bad. 1001 Arabian Nights. Depend who you ask. What is the intention and who was the target audience of 1001 Arabian Nights? Depends who you ask. Some say it's Orientalists, some say it's not. Um, it's worth a read though, regardless of who it's targeted for. There's a lot of wisdom in there. I wouldn't believe everything you hear, and I wouldn't disbelieve everything you hear. I would just listen to the wisdom and take it from these stories because they just hold a lot of story wisdoms. So that's what I would have to say about them. That was a book club question. Arabian Nights, Arabian Nights. Who's next? Aladdin is a Chinese story with Arabic characters, supposedly in Egypt. No, with Indian characters, supposedly in Egypt. Chinese story with Indian characters living in Egypt or something like that, or Arabic characters living in India, some stupid thing like that. That's what we mean about Orientalism, where people take, different stories and mix it together so they can just make it consumable for the West. Is there a DNA database for descendant of the Prophet? No, there isn't. Although that would be cool, and that would be politicized real quickly. That would become politicized in a matter of hours. We're approaching the hour mark. What were the What's the circumstances of me leaving Saudi Arabia? I am the first openly queer person from Saudi, and I have a death penalty on my head. So I was a student here in the United States on a royal scholarship, and then I applied for political asylum. What is all of this happening in your opinion? What? I don't understand the question. I just answered your question. What made me leave Saudi Arabia? I never heard from Wajeeh, by the way. How is it that we have a conservative in the White House, and every time we have a conservative in the White House, we spend more money? I don't know. Hmm. Why can't the Middle East calm down? Because it's countries have been at war for centuries, and been extravagated with the modern Western imperialism. So, and there's always some foreign involvement. And in the kitchen, you shouldn't have more than one head chef. And it feels like every time in the Middle East, every other day, I see another head chef in the kitchen, and then by now we have maybe like 30 head chefs, and everyone wants to do their own recipe on one meal. The U.S. in so much debt. Why do we continue to support other countries? Um, so there's multiple levels of support. The military support is to support our strategic interest. And except for Israel, for some reason, I don't know, we've always supported them. For US aid, we have shut that down. What foreign support are you talking about? US aid has been shut down by US president, and apparently we're still only giving one country aid, which is Israel. All the other countries are not getting shit for free. Everyone is paying for their stuff from the United States. There was this mix that we used to make for kids in Africa, which cost like $1 a bag or something, some stupid cheap price like that. And it was like peanut butter paste with powdered milk and powdered vitamins. And that was like one of the products that USAID would give away. And it took a lot of kids from being tiny, hungry little piece of kids that were about to die into saving their lives. That program has been cut and shut down. Those are the type of programs that we used to have and used to run. And it has a lot of soft power. It has a lot of sway on the global stage. And when we wanted some favors or we wanted any assistance from another country, it made it easier to ask for it. Now we don't have that anymore. I'll ask Waji for you. Could you what? Could you could it be associate could it be his association with Malcolm? He doesn't believe Israel is committing a genocide. How is Israel not committing a genocide? Israel is committing a genocide, though. I never said Israel is not committing genocide. But I don't think it's fair to blame all the Israeli people because the Israeli people are protesting this genocide. I don't think it's fair to blame all the Jewish people because the Jewish people are protesting this genocide. Uh, but the intent is there, the action is there. They're facing a lot of pressure not to do that type of work, but they're still doing it. I disagree with Malcolm. I said that yesterday, but that doesn't mean that I have to agree with everything that Malcolm says. Also, like, we can disagree with a lot of things that people tell us, but that doesn't rebuke the intelligence that they give us. Like, I can disagree with Malcolm's opinion on genocide when it's committed by Israel, but Malcolm will tell you on the same time that he thinks like is that Israel is committing crimes against humanity. He just has his own interpretation of the definition of genocide. He doesn't support what Israel is doing, and he doesn't support Israel killing innocent lives. If you ask, Malcolm, do you support Israel killing innocent life? He'll tell you, no, I don't support Israel killing an innocent life. He just has his own interpretation of the definition of genocide. Um, that's all right. No big deal. And I also said that not my opinion or Malcolm's opinion is the one that matters here. It is the International Criminal Court that matters. It is the investigators that matters. It is the one. I no no no. I didn't say that you did. I didn't say that. I'm just elaborating. I think it is the investigators' opinion that matter, and the people who have been like the courts, because by the end of the day, those are the ones that actually have a sway when it comes to legal perspective. And their opinion, it is a genocide, and there are crimes against humanity. Still new to Substack. Where can I find your articles? Under posts. If you go to my profile, you click posts, and then under posts, you'll see my all of the articles. And yeah, if you're subscribed to my but there, if you're looking for previous articles, you just go to under posts. Of course, I'm happy to help with answering questions. The International Criminal Court has called it a genocide, and that's what I'm trying to say. My opinion, Malcolm's opinion doesn't matter. The International Criminal Court has already spoken. Like the authority on the issue has already identified it as genocide. So it's not my job to rebuke their opinion and tell you it's not a genocide. Yep, they have. I'm waiting for other questions. Kate Justice published another badass article, I'm assuming, huh? Gotta share. Always publishing badass articles. My family didn't leave Saudi Arabia. They came to the United States on a royal scholarship and then they went back to Saudi Arabia. I'm the only one that stayed here. King Abdullah gave us a scholarship from his office, and we came to the United States on a scholarship from the king, and they returned, and I stayed. Good morning from California. Good morning. I will definitely have reach out to her. How much does Russia play in hostility in the Middle East? I would say about 40%. Now that the Israelis are Gazifying Lebanon, do you think UNESCO or any other international agency can rein them in? No. UN has no binding powers except from the Security Council, and the Security Council is divided. What is the role of Sufism in the Middle East, and what is their political position generally? Sufism is the practice of pure spiritualism, and it's essentially like the mm, I if I'm gonna speak like in general terms, I would call them like the hipsters of the Islamic ideology, and I would also say that they're like their closest thing to monks you could find in Islam. So they could be Sunni or Shia, but they are very, very down to earth. Supposedly, they're not so invested on earthly goods as much as they're much interested in spirituality. They don't have the literal understand. They don't believe in the literal meaning of the words as much as they believe in the spirituality meanings of the text, or what is the text trying to get to. That is essentially what Sufism is after. Um, yeah, they generally stay away from having political opinions, and they're very mystic. Could you highlight the hostilities that Russia has done in the Middle East? You could easily look at what they have done in Syria for the last 10 years, supporting Bashar al-Assad, from chemical weapons to torture to killing of innocent civilians in Syria. That's just one. They support Iran militarily, and they support other Iran's proxies. They give training to Al-Houthi militias in Yemen. Uh, so their reach is wide and open, and they have their own interests, and United States is their competition in there. We are have approached and finished the 1 hour. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share. Invite your friends and family to join the revolution. Make sure to snag yourself some merch. And while you're at it, subscribe. It's free. And if you want to become a paid subscriber, that's even better. It helps us pay the bills and do this full time so you don't have to do it full time. I'm here to answer your questions about the Middle East, and your questions about Islam and culture. So there is no shame in asking, and this is the place that you can ask that question without anyone telling you, why are you asking this question this place? Go do your research. No, you can come here and ask me these questions. I'm more than happy to help. That's why we're here today. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching a recording. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, join the conversation, and then come to YouTube. Come to Substack. And subscribe to us. We have a really nice community. We were supposed to have a Zoom call today, but the person that was helping us organize it, Mama Kay, who had some family emergency, so we apologize that didn't go through. We'll still do another Zoom call for all of us to come in. A lot of people have been asking to do so they could work with each other and do some mutual aid. We have a community that wants to support one another and learn from each other rather than compete against each other and beat each other up. Again, my last message to you about winning this coming election is not about beating the other side. It's about winning them over. Remember that people in this election that you need, and the next coming election that you need to work and to make change and to have pass laws. You need people who work with each other rather than beat each other. And if we focus a little bit more on finding people who want to work with each other and finding people who want to collaborate with each other and convincing people from the other side to move on your side is exactly what you need. So just think about it. Talk to the people you disagree with as a missionary. Make sure that your message can be reached by the other side and understood, even if they hate you or disagree with you or don't agree with your message. The only way you can make sure that your message is understood and that your message is reached by the other side is if you take your time, if you take a deep breath, if you smile, if you don't undermine the other side, and if you talk to them with the respect and honor. Change the way you play the game. You'll be surprised. I'll see you later. Thank you for tuning in.